Okay, well, I'd like to just kind of show you a typical fifth grade notebook that I like to use in my class with the fifth graders that I was working with. We like to keep our notebook so we can keep all of our concepts here on this notebook and also be able to kind of review. So I always have the kids make a table of contents, and then they can kind of lay out all the different components here, the different objectives that we're going over. You know, obviously there's many different ways to teach vocabulary. You can see here. Sometimes we'll just write out definitions, but you know, obviously we don't want to stick to just that. We know that we can take notes on many videos. I like to use this Foursquare method of just when we teach something new like kinetic energy, sometimes we'll like to have a movement that goes with it. And so kinetic energy is something that's flowing and has been used. So we'll use the word here. We'll put the meaning here. We may have a picture. Maybe that's a pendulum. And then we'll use it in a sentence. Here's another example of potential energy. Sometimes we'll have the students define the words themselves kind of after we've explained it, and whenever they use it, it's here's an example here: doing nothing with food in your stomach, that's potential energy. So here's another example: when I'm eating at the table, I am using potential energy. Well, so you start to kind of see if the student really grasps the concept or whether they need a little bit more help on that. Here you see wind energy. Wind energy, you have the word, you have the use of a sentence here, and the same thing here with electrical energy. So there's many different ways to teach these vocabulary concepts. Sometimes we'll make it into foldables that look like this, so that they're able to, color and draw and write. When we go over circuits, fifth graders have to understand circuits and conductors and insulators. We may have them draw a circuit. We may, have them draw a switch, and kind of so they can understand what a complete circuit is and find out what they need to do for that, and also the definitions up here. Now when it comes to light energy, there's many different definitions they have to know, and sometimes we'll have to do movements, we'll have to draw them, we'll have to write about them, we'll have to use them in sentences, do everything we can so that these vocabulary words can be, they're able to really master them. So we may do something like this where all these words are connected because they all have to do with light energy. And they may do this big foldable here and with all sorts of definitions and drawings, and this really helps because the difference between what is a refraction and what is a reflection can be so different. But here you can see that the student really understands the concept here because they kind of see a reflection. Okay, that's kind of when the light you shine in a mirror, then it reflects, so you kind of see that. And then you see when water can refract light, and you kind of see that. So you'll see a student that really understands that concept, and that helps me as a teacher know what we need to go over and what we don't need to go over. Here we have more foldables on energy and forces. Here sometimes we'll just cut out the definitions, sometimes we'll just write them. And I think it's just good to just mix it up. And here you'll have different foldables on that. So there's a lot of things that we like to do in our class. Hard concepts such as parts of the sun and the core. And you'll see many of this really interesting work. So I always like to think of it this way. If we can draw it, if we can write about it, if we can use it in a sentence, if we're able to do all of those things, then usually a kid will understand those vocabulary words, and then whenever they're tested on it, it's not difficult. They don't have to go back and think about what the definition is for that word. They can look at these different words, and it's more automatic. It's more automatic. They don't have to think, oh, what's potential energy? Oh, what's kinetic energy? It becomes more automatic when we start using them in sentences, writing them, drawing them, seeing videos, doing experiments. So just to make it a nice eclectic way of learning vocabulary, I think is the best way for the kids to understand everything they need to know in science.